Welcome or welcome back. I'm Cassie and this is A Wicked World. The story I have for you today is about a little girl who was horrifically murdered by her mother one day in September of 2021 for an absolutely insane reason. This is the story of Sutton Mosser. Sutton Mosser was born on September 14, 2018, to her mother, Justine Johnson. The 3-year-old was said to be sweet, very smart. She loved My Little Pony, could count to 30, and knew all of her colors. Despite Sutton's mother, Justine, having her own apartment, the two had recently been staying at Justine's parents' house on 5477 Cedar Lake Road in Oscoda Township, Michigan. Justine's 2 younger brothers also lived there. At the time, she had moved back in with them so that she could get some assistance in helping care for Sutton. On September 16th, Sutton's uncle, Neslie Johnson, would leave for work around 2:30 in the afternoon, and when he did, everything seemed normal. However, when he returned back from his work shift around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning on September 17th, neither Justine or Sutton were anywhere to be seen. Neslie asked his younger brother, who was just 17 at the time, where Sutton was, but he said he didn't know. So, the younger brother went to search the house for her. It was then that he discovered a human foot sticking out of a trash bag at the back of the house. The 2 brothers immediately contacted their uncle, and all 3 then contacted 911. Once police officers arrived on the scene, they discovered a blue plastic tote on the porch, along with 2 trash bags. One of the bags had a child's foot sticking out of it, and an officer would touch that foot and discover that it was cold. Once the trash bag was opened up, little Sutton's body was discovered. She had been wrapped in the comforter and then placed in the bag alongside a bloodied pair of jeans. A black sweatshirt would also be found at the bottom of the tote. 3-year-old Sutton had 17 stab wounds in various parts of her neck, chest, and abdomen. There was one particularly large wound exposing the child's small intestine. It was believed that she had been killed inside the home. Authorities would find 3 knives in the bedroom. They additionally found bloodstains on 2 couches in the living room, a hallway closet door, and several items that were found in the bedroom. The spatter patterns showed that Sutton had fought for her life. As part of their investigation, police also accessed Justine's apartment, where they would find blood on the floor and the bathtub, though they never stated whose blood this was. 13 fingerprints and palm prints would also be recovered from the garbage bag where Sutton's body had been found. All 13 of these belonged to Justine. On top of that, officers came across a bloody palm print that was on one of the living room walls, and this was determined to belong to Sutton. Justine's youngest brother would say that he had woken up around 6 a.m. on the 17th, and when he went into the bathroom to discover his sister, Justine, doing lines of cocaine. When he'd asked her where Sutton was, she told him to mind his own effing business. But according to him, that was just her normal response, so he didn't ask any further questions. Shortly after their encounter, Justine exited the house and approached a red car that was parked at the store across the street. The brother said she returned back home for a little while before she then again left. He also took off around this time, going to the beach and returning back home around 10 p.m. When he returned back home, no one was there, but he didn't suspect that anything was wrong. There had been surveillance video that was taken near the family's home, and it showed Justine leaving the house at 3:23 p.m. She then crossed the street to a former cleaning business where she sat down and put her head in her hands. Justine was wearing a black sweatshirt and blue jeans as she paced around, and it appeared that this clothing was the clothing that would later be found with Sutton's body. Justine had then returned back home at 3:46 p.m. Only minutes later, at 3:55 p.m., she then exited the house again and began walking southbound on the shoulder of Cedar Lake Road. A vehicle would end up approaching Justine, and she would be dropped off at the house at 6:06 p.m. Police would later track down this vehicle, and the driver would say that he had picked up Justine in town. The driver described her demeanor as being confused and said that she was possibly on drugs. About an hour later, Justine again left the home, this time wearing different clothes. And in none of this video footage was Sutton seen with her mother. The thing is, police now did not know where Justine was, and so they launched a search for her. Approximately 4 hours later, at 8:30 a.m., they would find her walking along the railroad tracks in the township. Officers immediately took the mother into custody and asked her several questions about her deceased daughter, though Justine was reportedly unemotional when police approached her. And she responded by saying that she did not want to discuss the topic. She would end up being charged with felony murder and first-degree child abuse. 22-year-old Justine Johnson was then held without bail. A Child Protective Services investigator would end up interviewing Justine on October 1st, and she would confess to him that that morning she had left her mother's house after taking some drugs and passed out in a graveyard. She then said that she had gone to her own apartment where she attempted to kill herself before returning to her mother's house where she killed her daughter. Justine told the investigator that she did not remember the specifics of her daughter's death. However, she did know that for the past 2 weeks, she hadn't been sleeping and had been hallucinating from heroin withdrawals. According to her, that day, she had started getting hallucinations from the TV. The TV which instructed her to take Sutton's life. The mother said, "It was SpongeBob saying these things on the TV." According to her, if she didn't kill Sutton, they would kill her. Justine said that she was afraid for her life and lost her mind. Hallucinations or not, if something told me or someone told me to kill my child or they would kill me, then go ahead, take me. And I know most parents would say the exact same thing, so that doesn't make sense, in my opinion. Now, according to Justine's mother, Elisa Johnson, her daughter was being portrayed as someone that she was not. She said that Justine loved Sutton with all her heart and would never let anyone hurt her. Alyssa, who believed that her daughter was innocent, said, "I want a fair investigation for my child. I want my granddaughter to have the proper justice." In March of 2023, Justine would plead guilty to her charges in relation to the murder of her 3-year-old daughter, Sutton. She was then sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. During her sentencing, Justine would say how she wanted justice for her daughter. She would additionally tell the judge that at the age of only 13, she had been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder, ADHD, anxiety, and depression. By September of 2021, she had been without prescription medication for over a year, during which time she instead said that she used methamphetamine and heroin, and apparently cocaine. According to Justine, on the day that she had killed Sutton, she had been experiencing hallucinations and was not aware that the little girl was even in her care. She still claimed that she could not remember the details of her death. Justine went on to tell the judge that after learning from police that she had killed her daughter, she had spent the next 4 months enduring hallucinations until the medication that she was given finally stabilized her. Saying that she's full of remorse, the mother also added that she wished she could trade places with Sutton. She then outlined the reasons why she pleaded guilty. She said, "First, I trust that the police department has investigated the event to their best. Second, I lost my child, and as any mother would want justice, I also want justice for Sutton. If it was me who committed this murder, I expect to be punished just as any other person would be. It's what's fair for her. I apologize to my daughter, my family, my mother, and to this court for my crime. Finally, I would like to ask the media to respect my family's privacy," she said. "If you feel like it's necessary to write about my little girl, please do so with the grace and respect that she deserves. I pray that she is in God's hands, that she has forgiven me, and that we will be reunited one day. I love you, Sutton Marie." Well, thank you for listening to Sutton's story today. In my opinion, there is more to this than just Justine hallucinating. Because even if she was hallucinating from drug withdrawal or drug use, you don't just kill your child because someone, especially SpongeBob, tells you to. Poor little Sutton must have been so scared when her mother just one day violently attacked and ended her life. It's horrific. So if you like true crime and you want to hear it from me, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and turn on your notifications too, so you'll know when I upload a new video, which is at least 3 times every single week. Thanks for watching A Wicked World today. Until next time, take care guys. Bye. Thank you to all the patrons of A Wicked World. Now, there's even more of A Wicked World on Patreon. So check it out at patreon.com/awickedworld or use the Patreon app. You'll have access to exclusive videos each month and more. Any support truly helps to make sure the victims never get forgotten and to highlight the shortcomings of society associated with each case. Do you have a suggestion for a case you'd like to see me cover? If so, send me an email at awickedworldtruecrime@gmail.com.